Okay, expressions lesson 2. This is Mrs. Scheme, and we are going to cover order of operations. This is something, again, that you have had a little bit of exposure to in fifth grade. Sixth grade adds in the exponents with that. So let's talk about order of operations. So our learning target for today is I can use the order of operations, including those with exponents, to evaluate expressions given specific variable values. So again, like I said in lesson 1, we are going to be with this learning target for a few lessons. So today we're just going to focus on order of operations that include exponents. So I want you to take a minute and I want you to, it says evaluate the expression. Evaluate is just another word of saying find the answer to this expression. So I'm going to give you just a minute and I want you to find your answer to this. Now, if you have maybe are wondering, this right here, this dot, maybe you haven't seen that used before, but a lot of times in sixth grade we'll use that. That is the same as a multiplication symbol. Okay, hopefully you have found your answer now. Some people, when they evaluated this expression, they got 11 as their answer, and some others got 14. So let's look at that. How could that be? So if we go 3 plus 4 is 7, times 2 is 14. We could do it that way. Or what if we go 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So we have 11 and 14. How do we know who is correct? So this order matters. So mathematicians came up with a way that we had to have an answer to expressions or equations. So to avoid the confusion, we all agreed on a specific order, and we call that order the order of operations. So order of operations tells us that if there are parentheses in the problem, like in the red, that we do parentheses first. We clean up what's inside the parentheses. Then, once all the parentheses are taken care of, order of operations tells me I use exponents next. And then once we've taken care of all the exponents, we use multiplication and division. Now, in parentheses, it says from left to right. This is really important, and we'll get into this a little bit more. But just like we're reading the book, right? We go left to right. So we do problems that deal with multiplication and division from left to right. So in this problem, right, if I'm looking at it, I have a division right here before a multiplication. So I would do that division before I would do the multiplication because this is just like one big group and I do them all from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. Okay, I have some addition here. Right now, this subtraction I had right here was already taken care of because that was in parentheses. Okay, so let's continue on. Now, you may have heard order of operations. You may have heard something called PEMDAS. And if you remember PEMDAS, that stands right for parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide left to right, add and subtract left to right. You may have also heard of the saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Again, please, the P stands for parentheses. Excuse, the E stands for exponents. My dear stands for multiplication and division. And Aunt Sally stands for addition and subtraction. So whatever way you choose to remember it, the process is still the same. So let's look at dealing with some parentheses here. So with these parentheses, right, there's an add, there's a multiply, but we're looking just inside the parentheses because order of operation tells me to do parentheses first. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Now, once I've done everything inside the parentheses, which I have, I can drop the parentheses. I don't need them. And then I simply multiply by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, let's deal with some exponents. Okay, I do those exponents first. So I don't want to go 3 times 5 first. I have to do the exponents. So if we remember with exponents, this is 3 squared, which means 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Now I can multiply it by 5 and get 45. Okay, let's deal with some multiplication and division. Now remember, multiplication and division, doesn't matter which one of those is first, I just go left to right. So even though multiplication is said first right here, I don't always do the excuse me, the multiplication first. I go left to right. So 36 divided by 3 is 12, and 12 times 4 is 48. Okay, and a little bit of trying with addition and subtraction. Again, just because the word addition is first doesn't mean addition's first. We simply go left to right with addition and subtraction. So if we're going left to right, we start and we have 12 minus 8, which is 4. And I'm going to bring down everything I haven't used. Helps me to keep my work organized. Now I'm going to do the addition because it's first left to right. 4 plus 7 is 11. And I haven't used that. Subtract 1. Now 11 minus 1 is 10. Okay, so let's try some. So evaluate the expression, remember, means find the answer to the expression. When I have lots of different operations, right, I sometimes like to write that PEMDAS, have a top, and it kind of keeps me organized. So I first look at the P, parentheses. Nope, no parentheses. E is exponents. Nope, no exponents. Multiply and divide. Ooh, yep, there's a multiply. So 2 times 7 is 14. Bring down what I haven't used, any numbers and any operation symbols. Any other multiply and divide? Nope. So those are done. Now add and subtract. Yep, I have an add. 4 plus 14 is 18. And I'm done. Okay, again, let's look at this one. I'm going to write. This takes just a minute, but it can help us keep our thoughts in order. So, any parentheses? Nope. Any exponents? Nope. Multiply and divide. Yep, there's a multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. I bring down my 20 because I haven't used it, and I haven't used that subtraction sign. No other multiply and divide. Add and subtract. Yep. 20 minus 10 is 10. Okay. So again, I'm going to write my PEMDAS. Parentheses? Nope. Exponent? Nope. Multiply and divide? Yes. So if I'm looking right, left to right, so this comes first. 6 times 4 is 24. Now I'm going to bring down everything I have not used. Okay, any other multiply and divide? Yep. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Bring down what I haven't used. Any other multiply and divide? Nope. Move on to add and subtract. Oh, yep, there's an add. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, let's look at this one. Again, I encourage you to write your PEMDAS, parentheses, nope, exponents, nope, multiply and divide. So let's look at this order. What do I come to first, left to right? 6 times 6, which is 36. Bring down what I have not used. Any other multiply and divide? Yep. Now, 36 divided by 8. Well, that doesn't go in evenly, but that's where it says at the top, don't be afraid of decimals. So, how many times does 8 go into 36? 4 times. 8 times 4 is 32. 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I'm going to put a decimal, and then I can add a 0 to bring down. 8 goes into 45 times. So 36 divided by 8 was 4.5. Now bring down that addition symbol because it hasn't been used, and the 4. So any other multiply and divide? Nope. Add and subtract. So 4 plus 4.5. I know when I'm adding decimals, I need to line them up. So 4, I'm going to put 0.0 plus 4.5. Hopefully that can be done with some mental math, right? We get 5, we get 8, and that decimal comes straight down. So 8.5. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, parentheses. Nope. Exponents, yes. So remember with exponents, my 5 is my base, my 2 is my exponent. So the 2 tells me I need my base multiplied 2 times. So 5 times 5 is 25. I bring down everything I haven't used. Any other exponents now? Nope. What about multiply and divide? Yes, right here. Now, I like multiplying by 25 because I think of money, right? 25 cents is a quarter, and if I have 3 quarters, I have 75 cents. Bring down what I haven't used. Any other multiply and divide? Nope. Add and subtract. Yes. 90, subtract 75. Can't take 5 if I have 0. 10 minus 5, 5. 8 minus 7, 1. So this expression, the value is 15. Okay, try this one. Pause your video while you're trying it, and then press play when you are ready to go over it. Okay, you hopefully wrote your PEMDAS. Parentheses? Nope. Exponents, yes. 4 to the third. 4 is my base. 3 is my exponent. My exponent tells me how many times I multiply the base. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2, 6. So 64. Bring down everything I haven't used. So no more exponents. Multiply and divide. Yep, I got to multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring down everything I haven't used. No more multiply and divide. And move on to add and subtract. Yep, I have an addition. 64 plus 16. 6 plus 4, 10. 6, 7, 8. So the answer is 80. Hopefully that's what you got too. Okay, so it says, what if there are 2 operations in parentheses? So once you're in the parentheses, it kind of acts like its own problem. So if I have my PEMDAS wrote down, and I start in parentheses. Well, in the parentheses, I have an exponent problem and I have a subtraction. So if I look right here, What comes first, exponents or subtraction? Oh, exponents. So I do those exponents first. 9 squared. 9 is my base, used 2 times. 9 times 9 is 81. Now, I rewrite everything, and I'm keeping those parentheses because I have not completed everything within them. So I'm still at this step right here because I can't move past parentheses till I've done everything in the parentheses. So 81 minus 4 is going to give me 77. Now I can take away the parentheses because I've done everything inside of them. Okay, I bring down everything I haven't used. Are there any exponents? No. Are there any multiply and divide? No. Is there add and subtract? Yep, there's addition. 2 plus 77 is 79. So if we have 2 things in the parentheses or 3 things, right? Once we get inside those parentheses, we start order of operations over because sometimes we actually could have parentheses inside of some parentheses. So just always make sure that you're following order of operations once you get inside those parentheses. Okay. Now, if we look at this one, this could be a little bit overwhelming, but just as the directions say, keep your work organized and you can do it. So pause your video, give it a shot. If you get lost, go ahead and press play and see kind of where you're at. But let's see what you can do if you keep it all organized. Okay, so again, I'm still writing my PEMDAS, so I have some directions to follow. So parentheses. Oh, yeah, I see 2 sets of parentheses. So if you remember from the last problem, we're going to look at the parentheses and then we're going to do what's inside of them. So I've got some parentheses inside parentheses. So I'm going to do that first right here. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Now I'm going to get rid of those parentheses because there's nothing else to do. I've cleaned it all up. And now I'm just going to simply bring down what I haven't used. I have a division. I have 14. I didn't use that subtraction or the 5, the addition, 13. Now I'm keeping those parentheses because I have not done everything inside of them. And then there's the 2 and my multiply. Okay. So am I done with parentheses? Nope. So I'm looking just inside the parentheses and I'm going to say, do I have any exponents? Nope. Do I have any multiply and divide just inside those parentheses? I know I have a multiply right here, right? But that's not inside the parentheses. So I'm looking only inside the parentheses. So I'm going to go right here. 14 divided by 7 is 2. I bring down everything I haven't used. I keep those parentheses because I'm not done with them yet. Hey, now just with inside the parentheses, there's no more multiply and divide. So I have add and subtract. And I'm going to go left to right. 13 plus 5 is 18. Bring down what I haven't used to keep my work all organized. Still inside those parentheses. 18 minus 2 is 16. Now I'm going to drop them. Drop those parentheses because I've cleaned up everything inside of it. And 2 times 16 is 32. So hopefully that's what you got. Order of operations, you can get some long problems sometimes, but if you will simply keep your work all organized so you know what numbers you've used or what operation symbols you've used, and just follow the process. Okay, this question says evaluate these expressions and discuss the differences. So let's first evaluate them. So let's get our PEMDAS back up here. So parentheses, yes. Now, once we're in parentheses and we look, do I have any other parentheses inside? No. Do I have exponents? Yes. So 3 squared. 3 is my base, used 2 times. Okay, 3 times 3. 9. So 12 minus 9, and that's still in parentheses because I haven't done everything inside of them. Now 12 minus 9 is 3. I can drop the parentheses because everything's done. 7 plus 3 is 10. Let's look at the other one. So parentheses, yes. 12 minus 3 is 9. I've done everything inside, so I can drop them. But what I haven't used, I still have that squared up there. So order of operations, parentheses are done. I move to exponents. 9 squared, which means 9 times 9, so 81 plus 7 gives me 88. So one says 10, one says 88. And if I look, I have the I have all the same numbers. I have 7 and 7, the plus sign, 12 minus 3. I have a 2 for the exponent. But what's the big difference? This right here. This exponent is outside the parentheses. This exponent is inside the parentheses. So be careful and watch for that because it's going to make a big difference in your problem. If it's inside the parentheses, you're going to do it right inside the parentheses. Order of operation starts over, no parentheses. I move on to exponents. If it's outside the parentheses, like this one over here, I have to do everything in the parentheses. And then that exponent is, once I'm done with everything inside the parentheses, that exponent goes on that number I got inside the parentheses. So watch for that and you should be great. So hopefully the biggest things with order of operations is to keep your work organized. Make sure you follow the steps. Make sure your computations, right, your exponents are being figured correctly, your addition, your subtraction, all that is being done correctly. So good luck on the rest of today's work.